Andy Tsege, a prominent critic of Ethiopia's ruling party in the 1970s, was given asylum in the UK in 1979, but later tried for terrorism in his absence. In 2014, he was kidnapped in Yemen and taken back to Ethiopia. He's now been pardoned after 2 years of Foreign Office appeals and a change in the political situation there. He still, though, needs emergency travel documents and is not yet out of jail. Let's cross live to North London, and our correspondent John McManus is there with some more on this story.
Yes, nearly 4 years ago, Andy Tsege was apprehended while travelling through Yemen. He disappeared for about 10 days. His family here in Britain had no idea what had happened to him. Then the Ethiopian government said it had Andy in custody. It had tried him and found him guilty in 2009 of trying to overthrow the government via the means of a coup, a charge that was laid against him in absentia. It goes without saying he'd always denied those charges, and the British government and his family have been campaigning for the past 4 years to get him released. Well, as you say, in the last day or so, the Ethiopian government has said that Andy has been pardoned. Let's have a talk now to his partner, Yemi Hailemariam, who joins me from North London. This must be amazing news for you.
It's absolutely amazing. I'm ecstatic, and now we're just anticipating his arrival home.
I suppose his children here who have lived in London with you are all very excited about the fact that he's going to be with you soon.
They're very, very excited. My son has already started planning what he's going to do with his father once he gets home. They're dying to update him on what's been happening to them for the last 4 years. Yeah, they're very, very excited.
Just tell me a little bit about why the Ethiopian government detained him. What do you think was their prime reason for doing that?
I mean, their prime reason is, I think, in my opinion, is because he'd been critiquing the government. He'd written a book about saying, like what he thought of the government, and so I think it's part and parcel of that.
He, of course, has always denied the charges of being involved in any coup attempt, but the previous Ethiopian Prime Minister said that your partner had been caught red-handed with bombs.
It can't possibly be, because he was nowhere near the country, so he couldn't possibly have been caught red-handed with bombs. So, no.
These charges, then, they're politically motivated. You and your family, and Andy, of course, have denied them. What kind of support have you received from the British government over the last few years?
The British government have been, I think, clear that they know that this is politically motivated, but what they do say is that they don't get involved in legal challenges of individuals, but they have been supporting in consular, but I do think that they could have done more.
In what terms? How could they have done more?
They could have, because they could have looked at the merits of the case. They could have known that this was an in absentia judgment, and made sure that their citizens should not be bundled up from one airport and taken to another country.
I imagine there are other political prisoners still held in Ethiopia. Many of them have been released in the last year. Is that because the situation there, the political situation, has changed for the better? It
appears so, yes. I mean, like, they decided that they were going to be releasing political prisoners back in January, and they've kept to their words, and they've been releasing prisoners. So yeah, it appears that it's changing.
Well, fingers crossed that everything is going to go to plan now. We are waiting, of course, for Andy to be given the appropriate travel documents by the British authorities. Are you envisaging him being home in the next few days?
I'm hoping, fingers crossed. I mean, like, he has not technically been actually released from prison, and I haven't spoken to him. So what I'm actually eagerly awaiting is that first phone call from him, because I haven't spoken to him in the last 4 years. So that's what I'm awaiting.
That could come at any time.
Exactly, and so I have my phone by me. so yeah.
Yemi Hailemariam, thank you very much for joining us. Well, as I said, the British government says it's working on getting Andy out of the government now. It needs to first issue him with new passport documents in order to facilitate that. But it doesn't look like he'll be leaving prison in Ethiopia today, because there's currently a bank holiday there, so there's not likely to be much activity. But it is expected that he'll be home here in North London sometime in the next few days.
Thank you very much, John. John McManus there, live in North London. Now it's time for a look at the weather with Stav.
Hello there. Although many of us have been enjoying lots of warm and sunny weather this bank holiday,